start recording. I told Sharita about your idea of going into part 2.
Mhm.
And so, you know, we'll just gauge and see how many people sign up for the January class.
Okay.
What we could do is, you know, of course, I'll still have my class, the 2 on Tuesdays, have something that's separate. And, you know, I just think of it kind of like an independent study, you know, like it's a class, but there's not going to be very many people that will want to move forward, but we can
Right.
explore it slowly.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I could even go through another 16 weeks with what we were doing, and it just it just improves me more and more.
Yeah, we'll just play it by ear. Let's just see who signs up and then see what we need to do from there. But I'm definitely interested in exploring part 2. I've obviously never done it virtual. When I first started doing virtual class, I honestly thought I would only do seated Tai Chi, and I
Mhm.
thought I would only do the basic 6. I didn't know if I could teach standing, and I didn't know if I could teach anything beyond. So
Mhm.
I think it's cool how far we've come. In this class, we've come so far.
Yeah, you've done
Uh,
amazing.
my afternoon class, they want to do it seated. They don't want to, you know, stand up and learn all of the advanced. And that's fine. So
Okay.
it's a totally different class. If you were to come to the afternoon class, you
Mhm.
know, it doesn't look the same, even though y'all have been going the same amount of weeks. But that's just where
Okay.
their interest lies, and that's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I know Miss Arlene, if I'm remembering Miss Arlene, it could be Miss Iona, one or the other. They were interested in an advanced class, but not
Mhm.
enough people signed up for it. That was
Okay.
this set of classes. So I will reach out to them and tell them that there's an advanced class that we're trying to make. And if they're
Mhm.
interested, then, you know, this may be their opportunity.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get this started. Open and closing our hands, getting ourselves warmed up. You know me, I've ran the heater all morning in here, so it is warm. It got cold overnight, and when I woke up, I said, "Is that heater on?" No, my heater wasn't on,
Oh
and
no.
it was cold. My thermostat said it was 66, which isn't too far from what I would turn it on. I turn it on 68.
Okay.
But it's
That's
those
good.
2 degrees made a difference.
They make a difference.
It was chilly. In my room, I don't know if y'all's houses are like this, but there's always a cold room or a hot room, and that's my room.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is the hot room.
Yours is the hot.
Mine is a cold one.
Mine is the cold. That's why I sleep with 45 blankets on.
Um,
But anyway, I digress. I like it warm, so I always tote this space heater from room to room if I need to. All right, here we go. Thinking about that upright posture, weight supported on both legs, a wider stance. Reminding ourselves not to hold tension, specifically in our shoulder and neck, and we are breathing. Let's begin with our neck. Other neck exercise. Following that hand and to the front. me pause right here and remind you that this movement here that we're doing, yes, I'm following that hand, and so I can feel a stretch in my neck just because I'm turning my head. My other hand is just resting here by my hip, right? But if I want to make this movement a little bit more, I can kind of pull that shoulder back as I'm following that hand. And so it opens up that chest and stretches those muscles. Either one is right. That's just how you can make that movement a little bit more. It's by pulling that shoulder back a little bit as you go from side to side. Now, remember that we're not going as far as we can go. You know, I can turn my neck a little bit more. I'm just going until I feel that slight stretch in the neck and then go back towards the other side. So remember too that when we do our single whip, this movement right here, our neck warm-up stretch, it is very similar and prepares us for that single whip where we push, turn, separate. See, our head is following that hand. You feel that same stretch in your neck. And because you continue to move that other arm out, it pulls that shoulder back. So you see how those two movements are similar. So our warm-up movements truly prepare us for our Tai Chi moves. And if you just want to do those warm-up moves, if you do them with those principles in mind, and, you know, go that extra little bit, gentle resistance and pulling those muscles for a stretch, then you're going to get those benefits for Tai Chi or from Tai Chi. Next is our shoulders. So we're going to roll our shoulders, thinking small circles about the size of a quarter. I know it's hard to think small. My quarter is always too big, but I'm trying. And then back, roll back. And we do back second, and that is like a little massage you give yourself. Also helps reset your posture. Shoulder circle, breath. So we have our inhale and exhale, and we also have the opportunity to practice gentle resistance as we push as we come up and push as we come down. But if you just raise and lower your hands without the gentle resistance, that's fine too. Next for our spine, grab our ball, separating our hands. One pushes down, the other comes up and pushes above our head, keeping that soft bend in our elbows. Let's go back to our ball and go side to side, moving our torso, keeping our legs in place. Which move is this like? Waving hands in clouds. So you see my torso moving side to side, just like when we do our waving hands in clouds, that looks like this. So only my hands changed. We want to be thinking about the muscles in our core, being tight as we move side to side. And I think of my belly button as that special power that just guides the movement from side to side, whether it be our holding the ball or once we get to waving hands in clouds. Just really letting that core guide the direction side to side. Remember too, that we're not going way over here. We're not going as far as we can go. Once we start going way too far, we can actually hurt ourselves in our back. You may feel your knee pulling too. So it's just a short little trip, staying within our frame, as if we have went to Michael's and had our own perfect frame built for our bodies. We stop at the edge of that frame, stop at the edge of that frame. So once we start leaving the frame, then a lot of times we're leaning, and leaning, lends itself to falling. So we don't want to lean. We want to always try to keep our bodies upright. All right, next is for our hips. So this is where it gets a little complicated because of our weight transfer. So we're going to shift our weight to one leg, heel forward, hands back. Pause and toe back, hands forward. Switch sides. So all these lower body warm-ups, this is really where that magic happens with falls prevention, shifting weight. So here, staying in our frame as we shift the weight and tap. So we keep our bodies upright, even though it would really be easy to lean, but challenge yourself, stay in the frame, keep your body upright as you go side to side. For our knees, lift, shift, lift, tap and punch. Shift, lift. So what a challenge it is to hold our bodies on one leg. And by challenging those muscles, we make them stronger. And our other one where we step forward, small step, and then we keep both feet on the floor. Let me pull my camera down a little bit. Keep those feet on the floor as we shift the weight forward, bring it back, feet side by side. So probably today is the first time I've thought about this with our advanced movements, having that peri and punch. And a little bit of our brush knee. Think about a whole different movement and got off on my feet. Let's think about how smart Dr. Lamb is when he wrote this program, that he thought of the warm-ups and matched them with the actual movements. Stretching those ankles, heel toe. And big toe, little toe. Very good. All right, we ready to go now with our basic 6. Let's go. Let's do that. And commence. And close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. And close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. And close. Close it out. So we should feel so good about that series of movements with our basic 6, and knowing that we can always explore it in different ways. Once we know the movements, we can explore it with how slow, smooth, and continuous our movements are, focusing on our posture, thinking about weight shift, those open joints, and then of course doing it in a quiet environment to experience that Jing. That's what's just cool about Tai Chi, is focusing on different aspects and getting different things out of it. So with our weight transfer, that is truly what makes our muscles stronger. Challenging ourselves to hold weight on one leg while we do something with the other leg. We may not be moving it, but it may be a matter of just holding that weight. When then we, in our advanced, we have those follow steps. So that follow step is the period at the end of a movement, and it doesn't get any weight. So our weight is being held on our leg for quite a while before we step back. But all of that weight transfer is what's making these muscles stronger. I really hope that y'all have experienced that. I have to share with y'all that yesterday in class in Claxton, a lady who has been in my class for, I know it's been a year, it may be a year and a half. She had a praise report. She said, I wasn't thinking about it. She said, but I got off the toilet without using my hands, without pushing herself up with her hands. And she said, after I did it, that's when it hit me. I just stood up without using my hands. And she gives that success to Tai Chi for being dedicated to the weight transfer. And so, gosh, that made me feel good to know that it really is helping people. And that's the magic right there, is weight transfer. And so that's what makes the advanced movements more challenging. How much more weight transfer do we do, and kind of put ourselves in an awkward situation or position whenever we have our basic movements. We're walking sideways, and when we do our advanced movements, we're going forward, but then we're moving back too. And that's a real challenge because we can't see behind us. So there's that to work with, but we're moving front and back, and we work that joint fully. So let's go through our advanced movements. Remember, we go to the left and then we go to the right, coming from open and close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. The front. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Front. Open, close. So a lot of weight shifting happening. I've really been exploring, I know I've told y'all about gentle resistance, but also this nature of soft or slow and hard and a little bit faster. So let me show you coming towards you at the front. Brush knee. So there, up into there, it was kind of slow and soft. And whenever I push, there's that kind of harsh delivery. Using that muscle as I push, follow step. Slow and soft the transition. And then that gentle resistance in the weight shift and that pull, follow step. That softness in the transition, and then push that gentle resistance. So I don't know if soft and hard are the right terms, but you understand what I'm talking about, where it's the transition and then resist and push. The softness and slow of the transition, and then push with the resistance. Softness and push. I always think it's like yin and yang, like our shirts. Softness, push. Push. There's that soft, and the moves are so dynamic. You know, we can think about weight shifting because we step empty, then we shift the weight, and then we follow step. And there's that empty step, no weight, and that's the next step. Step back, shift, follow step. Of course, Perry punch throws us step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, follow step. Step, shift, follow step. Step, shift, follow step. Step, shift, step, adjust weight, and then there's our open and close. So you see the nature of that movement, where as soon as we make that step, there's no weight there. It's an empty step. Then we give it weight. Anytime we take a step, it's empty. There's no weight. Anytime a foot has no weight, it's our next step. Shift. All right, let's go through it again. So we can focus on all kinds of stuff, but I have just really fallen in love with that gentle resistance of our advanced movements, the softness of this transition, and then the resistance of the push. Usually what's happening when we change our hands is a weight transfer. So we can put those two moves together. Weight shift as we change our hands. So let's do it all together. No, I'm going the wrong way, right? No, yeah, no, I'm wrong. I told y'all, that mirror image gets me every time. All right, here we go. And right now, somebody's got a drill going on downstairs. I hope y'all can't hear it, but it is working on my brain, like wanting to tell them to please stop. All right, here we go. And brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Front. Open, close. So as you do these movements by yourself, you may be talking yourself through it. You may be saying, shift, toe in and reach, shift, separate, prepare. You may be using the words that I have, taught you. Here, step, shift as I push, follow step, play the loop, step, turn hands, shift as they pass to the elbow, and follow step. So when you get to parry punch, you can say the words parry, parry, and punch. So I've been saying parry punch, but there are two parries, parry, parry, and punch. So if you say those words, it may help you walk through it. Parry, 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 and punch. That was not correct. My feet and hands were off. But you know what I'm saying. You can use words as you talk yourself through it, and that's another step to learning and doing it yourself. So whatever helps. Let's do it again, because practice always helps. And brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Any questions y'all have? All right. No questions, then we'll.
I like going through slow on the left side. I have to go
That
through
left side.
Mhm.
Are you talking about the second direction?
Yeah, the second direction.
Yeah, don't talk right and left to me because I stay confused. I think next time I teach class, I'm not going to teach mirror image and I'm going to see if no one notices. Because I'm an idiot. I can't get it. All right. So I shouldn't talk ugly about myself. I'm not an idiot. I do pretty good most of the time, but sometimes, man, I get confused. If I'm saying right and moving left, my brain is like, why are you doing the wrong thing? So let's just practice going that way a couple of times. Let's slow it down and I'll talk you through it and we'll just keep practicing. So we're going to shift, left toe in and reach, shift, separate, prepare, step, bring this hand around, shift as I push and follow step. Play the loop, step back, turn hands, shift as they pass, get to that elbow, follow step. Parry punch, step and flip, shift and parry. Step and flip, shift and parry. Step and guard, shift, deliver, follow step. Block and close. Step back, release hands, shift as they come to my hips, follow step. Push the tiger. Step, shift as I push and follow step. To the front, step, shift, step, but just wait, open and close. So one thing to keep in mind is to keep that body upright. It's just that tendency when I push the tiger to want to lean into that push, because if you really were going to push something, you probably would lean into it. So remember to always keep that body upright. All right, let's practice again. This time I'll just say the names. And brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. And again. Open and close. Brush knee. Is it getting easier each time?
Yes.
All right, let's do it again. And brush knee. Well, let's do it this way and then that way. We'll do it both ways. We don't want to get real good at the other way and forget this one.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And brush knee. Yeah. Open, close. Now let's add our basic 6 into our advanced 6. And remember, when I get done with the basic 6, I'll land over here and I have to move over here. That's just because of our space. All right, so from the top and commence. that. So keep practicing. I'm going to show you part 2.
Okay.
Just to kind of give you a preview, and also not that you're feeling any kind of anxiety, because you know that no matter what we do, we will break it down and we will practice and go over. I mean, I never just rush and not ever go back. So, but I want to give you some clues into that. There's a lot of pieces of it that you already know. So it's not going to be anything really completely different. Challenging, yes. But it starts with, I'm not doing it mirror image because it's not, because it's hard enough for me to do it regular. But it starts with a brush knee. How about that? So we know brush knee. So we're, of course, we end that our part 1, our basic 6, advanced 6 with open and close. So we're in this position. This time we brush knee. In real life, it's to the right. Now, whatever y'all think direction I'm going to the right. So there's a brush knee. The next is called leisurely tie the coat. So I step back. Hold on. Let me do it without talking. Brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Now we've done single whip before, but this time it's called step back single whip. So before, when we step forward, this time we step back. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey, which looks a lot like a brush knee. Usually tie the coat. Open, close. Brush knee. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Step back single whip. Fist under elbow. Repulse the monkey. Leisurely tie the coat. Open, close. Close it out. So there is part 2. What you think about that?
Interesting.
Dancing. It looks like dancing.
Yeah,
It
does.
feels like dancing, especially that. But you honestly saw a lot of brush knee, didn't you?
Yes.
Like we call it repulse monkey, but it's a brush knee. You know, open and close. You know, a step back single whip I like better than a step forward single whip. But that's easy. I mean, I shouldn't say easy. but it's not as challenging as thinking I have to learn all kinds of brand new stuff. So there's some things that we're familiar with in it. All right. Create tension and then let it go. Gather and release. We don't want to live with tension because tension brings us pain. Find throughout the day, check in with yourself, see if you're holding tension, and then loosen it up. Big circle. One more. We have our fist representing our strength, our fingers together representing our friendship, our thumb end representing humility, and putting those together in mutual respect, we say namaste. So be watching out, Gwen, for your mail. I'm sending your t-shirt. And Sharita, I'll bring yours Thursday, and if you don't end up coming, I can put yours in the mail.
Okay.
Appreciate you so much.
But y'all know, just because class is kind of on pause for the next couple weeks, y'all know y'all can call me or text me or email me or message, whatever all the ways are of getting in touch with me. And if you need anything, just let me know. And I'm here. I mean, I'm still working. I'm still at the office.
Okay.
Okay. But if not, then I will get started back up in January.
All right. Happy holidays,
You
Sharita.
too. Love y'all.
Jennifer.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Bye.